We are. It's 11:02. Thank you guys so much for your patience. We just had a lot of people that were joining. We'll get started now. Welcome to the Emerson at 500 West 25th Street, and welcome to the new way that we conduct business in real estate by Zoom. So what I'm going to do today is run through a Zoom presentation that's hopefully going to give all of you a very good idea of what the offering at the Emerson is. It's one of our new and exciting new projects. It's just only 8 units, but it's very special. So I'm going to start with the first slide. Ellis, thank you so much. So as you see there, there's a really beautiful image of the north-facing facade of the building. This building is quite unique. It's an Alabama limestone facade. And for those of you who've been to 220 Central Park South, arguably one of the best new buildings in all of New York City, this Alabama limestone comes from the very same quarry that the 220 Central Park West, or rather South, marble comes from. It's a really beautiful, dynamic, powerful, unique design. As you can see, it cantilevers off, and that's the western side of the building. And if you look closely, you'll see that those are all terraces that are in the back of those units. All of our units here have terraces, which is one unique characteristic of the building. Also, from those terraces, you're looking west. Many of the views have the Hudson River, and all of the views are looking over the High Line. So it's all green and really beautiful and contextual with the West Chelsea Arts District, which is, I think, just so hot right now and very exciting to be a part of. It's also, this very facade is looking north directly at Avenues School, which we have found in the buyers that have been coming to be a very big draw. So we'll go to the next slide, Ellis. This is an image of the interior living room. Again, most of the units will have exactly this same layout. They're 2,400 square feet. And that includes just the interior, and it's just shy, by the way, of 2,400 square feet. But you have a really beautiful, herringbone pattern on the floors there. You have custom kitchens, as you can see in the background. I'll get into those details in a moment. But most importantly, what I want you to see is that you have a living room, a dining room, and a great room with tons of light. And beautiful views of the sky and the air. And as you go up to higher floors, you'll get city skyline views. I also want you to notice in the windows, we incorporated space wide enough to create these window seats, which I just love. And spending time in the apartment, I actually spend a lot of time just sort of sitting there watching the world go by outside. But it's also nice in our relatively smaller New York City apartments that we live in, just to have that additional seating space. But as you can see, this great room really is one great room. There's even more space than this because the camera was, put back into one corner of the room, and there's a nook there that you'll be able to see in greater detail when you look at the floor plan itself. The building, as you can see now, this is that western view. You're looking here at the trees that are on the High Line. And this is one of those unique characteristics about the building. And this is just a different perspective to allow you to appreciate the overhang, if you will, in the building. It's just literally hanging over the building that's directly adjacent to it on the west. And those are all terraces in those top 3 floors that you can see there. But again, once you're in there, you're covered. So it's really more like a loggia. And you're able to have these direct, beautiful views of the Hudson River. The lobby, you'll find a 24-hour doorman here at the Emerson. I think it's a very sophisticated and refined lobby experience at the Emerson. I do also want to point out in this post-COVID world that we're living in that all of the materiality from the front door to the elevators are antimicrobial in that, they're copper or metals that when you touch, they don't pick up the germs that you'll normally find on other types of materials. So it's something of note. We also do wrap the Alabama limestone back from the outside onto the interior here, as you can see from this. It's all about wood and metals and stone. That's a custom piece of artwork that as we speak is actually being built. It was designed quite beautifully, as you can see here, but it's very powerful and impactful. This rendering really in earnest does no justice. By the way, it is also 15-foot tall ceilings, which is quite beautiful as well and very impactful when you walk in. This is another angle just to show you that living room space. What you couldn't see from the wide shot, which gave you the entire great room, is the fact that you're on a corner. You're facing north and you're facing east now. So those three massive windows with the tall ceilings give you this sense of openness and space and airiness as well. And also you're looking straight across 25th Street there to the east, and you're getting all those trees. And last week I was in there after the hurricane that came through, and it rained so much that all those trees were shining so brightly and quite beautifully. So it's a nice kind of tree line block. So here in the residences, a couple of key points here. You have key elevator with direct entrance into what is a really beautiful lobby that you come into, or a foyer of your own apartment. You'll have 10.5-foot ceilings through all of the residences. You have wide plank white oak floors, as I mentioned, that are in that herringbone pattern, and they're really, really beautiful. You've got to see them with your own eyes. You have central air conditioning with multiple zoned units that are throughout for climate control. You do have a utility room with a washer and dryer in all of the apartments. And as I mentioned, you do get these really beautiful views of the High Line from all of the rooms. And then some of the details like 8-foot tall solid core doors, you knock on them and they're really solid. It's a point here I want to make. The quality of the craftsmanship and the materiality of all of these units far surpasses what is standard. It's very, very special. It was thoughtfully designed and I think beautifully executed. And again, it's something that I encourage all of you to see with your own eyes. It's wonderful that we're doing these Zoom meetings because, you know, we're not meeting in person as often, but I strongly, strongly encourage you to come with a customer. You won't be disappointed by the quality. These are the kitchens. As you can see, it's a custom white oak cabinetry, stone countertops, really, really beautiful stone, with the backsplash as well. Gagano appliances, which is pretty much standard for me now. I'm telling all of my developers, if you don't put in Gagano, you're missing a huge opportunity. It's really what the people in the marketplace want. Quality is really good, and the design is very, very compelling. Feels very European. There's a cooktop and a vented hood, so the hood does vent to the outside. There's a combination oven in there as well. Again, it's a dual range, and it's by Gagano. You have a microwave oven, which is one of those drawer microwave ovens. You have a dishwasher, which is integrated with a cabinet in front. You just can't see that because it's on the other side of the sink there. Full height 48-inch paneled refrigerator with freezer, and a wine refrigerator and doorman sink and faucet fixtures there. These master bathrooms are exquisite. GDSNY, by the way, is the developer. They are a developer architect. These guys are hands-on. They're designing these. They are building them. They're selecting the fittings, the fixtures, the finishes, and then their company really oversees all of the construction. So it's an in-house team, and they're really sort of hands-on, and I think that speaks to why the quality of the design is so high, but also the quality of the craftsmanship that they oversee on a daily basis. Their office is literally in this building on the 3rd floor. Marble floors, which again mimic that herringbone pattern that you'll find in the living room. You have Vola and Kohler fixtures in here. You have La Cava under mount sinks with the Vola faucet. You have a deep soaking tub, which is quite nice. Heated towel rails, which, you know, what an idea, right? It just amazes me that you don't find these more often in New York City. And then you have radiant heated floors that are underneath. And then, of course, what you can't live without, and I know I will never live without, is the Toto Neo-Rest and toilet in your bathroom. And then otherwise, the other bathrooms have the Derby. So let's review the floor plan here. Note that in the center where it says private entry, that's your elevator that will open directly into your unit. And you come into what is a private foyer, and it is a really good dimensions to that private foyer. It feels sort of generous and spacious. What I like is that you then come around and you come into the 10th Avenue side, which is facing east, and then north over the 25th Street side. You have a very large kitchen and your living and dining room. And look to the left where that chair is. That's that nook I was referring to in the living room there. So it's even wider than what that camera angle was showing you. Again, really big open, beautiful, bold room. Oops, looks like Ellis has gone haywire here and I've lost my floor plan. I'm sure he'll find his way back. As he's finding his way back to the floor plan, again, it is on the eastern side of the apartment where you're going to have the kitchen, living, and the dining. And of course, it's on the opposite side here, as you can see from the floor plan, where you'll have all of the bedrooms. Again, it's that private foyer that separates all of the bedrooms from the entertaining, which I really like a lot. And something that we did here, you'll notice that there's a door where it says private foyer. There's a door there, and then there's another foyer in between. That creates privacy and also keeps noise from the great room out of these two rooms. In the event that it might be a family apartment and there may be kids there and you might have adults like myself who have 2.5-year-old twins who like to also have a life and entertain. I can do that, you know, quietly in the great room while my children are sleeping in those 2 additional rooms. And again, for those 2 additional rooms, you do see those 2 bathrooms. And of course, because we know that kids produce lots of clothes, that's why the washer and dryer is conveniently located in that location. Aside from that, and next to that, you do have the master bedroom with the beautiful master bath, and then you have that very large terrace, which is over 210 square feet. So you see you've got the master bedroom. Your master bedroom has that huge window facing north. You can enter onto the terrace, which is quite lovely to have coffee out there in the morning from your master bedroom. But you can also enter the terrace through the gallery, which is adjacent to the interior stairs. That means you'd go directly through the private foyer, through the gallery, which is really beautiful. And we have it set up as a gallery with beautiful artwork in there at the moment. And that can lead you to the private terrace as well. Again, it's from that terrace that you're looking over the High Line, which is quite unique and very special. This is the 8th floor unit now that we're looking at. And really, the floor plan is similar, except what's different about this unit is the exterior square feet on the 8th floor unit is significantly larger, actually more than double the space. And it also does have that overhang. That's the image that we looked at from the beginning, which does look west, as I mentioned, with the views looking at the Hudson River Park. That's 471 square feet of exterior as opposed to 210. Otherwise, all items on the interior and the format remains the same. Again, this is just another shot of the kitchen, just a straight on pan shot of it, which I think is such a beautiful and exquisite, beautiful, beautiful shot that really makes you feel like you're in that apartment. You have a really nice, generously sized area where you can sit down for dining. And again, we continue with that theme of the window seat there if you wanted to do that. This is just a shot of what one of the bedrooms looks like. This is the bedroom that is facing to the north. And I include this just because I want you to see how much sky you have, because the windows, as I said, the ceilings are 10.5 feet tall, but there's just a tremendous, tremendous amount of light that just pours into this apartment. And again, it has a lot to do with the sky that you can see there. Then this is another angle, sort of like in the middle of the great room, where you're in your dining area. This entire window is focused on that specific area. So you do have a nice sort of size. I never like when tables, dining tables take up so much space, because let's be honest, we don't sit at them that often. Although we do hang out in the kitchen and you want to sit down on the stools and look at the, sit in the kitchen and have a casual bowl of cereal in the morning. Or you want to be able to entertain in your living room portion. But I like the amount of space that's dedicated for the dining area. It feels big enough, but it doesn't take up too much space. Here is the important thing. As you can see, for a 3-bedroom, 3-bath with just under 2,400 square feet, with 210 square feet of exterior, we're starting at $4,995. These prices were considered and reconsidered once COVID came, so I do want you to know that these prices are pricing that I find very compelling and pricing for what I call the new market. I think as brokers, we really have to understand and agree with one another that there's new inventory that's being released into the market after COVID, such as this project. We at Eklund Gomes have made the choice that we are going to charge forward in the new market with new, more realistic pricing that is lower than what the pricing was before the beginning of this pandemic. I mention it because, you know, buyers will want to come in and get 20% off discounts, because I'm sure you guys are not the only ones that are receiving offers that are that low. I actually received offers yesterday on a new project that were 30% off of the ask. I just want to be productive. It's a great project. It's compelling pricing, but I just want to sort of put it out there. It's the new pricing. So please make your buyers be aware that it is a new project and pricing is relevant for today's market. On the 8th floor, the pricing is a little bit more expensive, as you can see, because you get up much higher. You open up your views, which are much bigger and much better, and you do have more than twice the size of the outdoor space. And again, that difference of the outdoor space is that it is covered similar to a loggia. And I just wanted to finish the presentation by mentioning that the Emerson is only one of 24 properties in Manhattan. And for those of you who were wondering, there are, as you can see here, 46,000 plus buildings. And that does include both residential and commercial buildings, but there's a New York City Green Property certification. It took about 3 years to get this certification, which is probably why only 24 properties in Manhattan have it. However, what the city has deemed is that this is one of the, as you can read right there, the mayor's office says that it symbolizes the city's confidence that the property and its buildings are among the safest places in New York to live and or work. So this is all about, you know, health and wellness and living in a clean green building and having lots of different tests considered and living in a building that's safe. And I think more now so than ever, you do have clients that are looking to live in buildings that are safe post-COVID. Just the air filtration, the number of windows, the linear square feet of the windows, the antimicrobial materials that I talked about in the elevator cab, the trash chute. There's no hand delivery that interacts with garbage. The MERV filters that are upgradable here in the HVAC units. You're probably hearing a lot about these MERV filters. If you haven't, you will. But again, this is one out of only 24 buildings in Manhattan. And again, there's more than 46,000 buildings in total. So that wraps our presentation today. I want to let all of you know that we do show at the Emerson by appointment only, and we are showing 7 days per week. This is listed on the Eklund Gomes website. It's listed on the Douglas Elliman website. You can find it also on Street Easy. But more importantly, always remember you can call or email or text me directly anytime, as you all probably are aware by now. I'm probably one of the most responsive and fastest, quickest responsive brokers in the business. I will get back to you right away, and we will make sure that we make an appointment work. So that concludes our presentation of the Emerson at 500 West 25th Street. Thank you so much for joining us, and please reach out if you have any more questions. Bye, guys.